Hey there gamers, my name is Waddles and welcome back to the Minecraft Guide, episode 90. I can't believe we made it this far in the series. It's been a long time. Now, last episode we started talking about wither farms. If you missed that one, you should definitely go back and check that one out before we do this one because there's a lot of like spawning mechanics and things like that explained. Now, in between episodes, I've been doing a lot of work over there, if you can remember the nether fortress cut through there, and I've been ripping it down. I also went in here and flattened all of this out in preparation for what we're doing today, and yeah, it's a big project. I still have to remove a lot of land and a lot of the fortress, but I figured that it's kind of at an okay spot for now, and we can start our project. So today, for the spookiest time of the year, Halloween of course, we are actually setting up a wither farm in our world. Now, a farm like this can get you lots of wither heads and also lots of coal. Coal is actually a farmable resource from the... Excuse me, I'm working here. Now, this is a really big build. There's a lot of work that goes into it, both building it and actually making it work correctly. If you just build this in your world without doing any of the other things that you need to do kind of around it or relating to it, it's not going to work right, unfortunately. So materials, let's talk about that. So from ripping down the nether fortress, or at least portions of it, I have a lot of nether bricks, and then I actually have a lot of netherrack. To build this farm, you will actually need a good deal of nether bricks. You'll also probably want some other building blocks, so I've got a lot of glass on hand, some dye to dye the glass to red because it's the nether, we need to do things fiery, right? Then you'll need a lot of staircases, and actually a lot of pots, like flower pots, Minecraft flower pots of all things. Now this design is basically a modification of Tango Tech's absolutely amazing wither farm. This thing is so easy to build. Again, there's just like a lot of work that comes with it. So to start, we need to grab a lot of our nether bricks and then move down to the bounding box of the nether fortress. Now last episode we went over bounding boxes and everything like that, so again, if you haven't seen the last episode, you should probably check that one out. So the very corner of our nether fortress bounding box can be found at -38 and -12. We found that last episode. We are currently standing at -37, -8. So we are just inside of that bounding box. That's where we're going to want to build our farm. So I think we'll go ahead and start our farm actually right here on this layer, and then we'll run our farm going down that way. We're right above a lava ocean too, which kind of heightens the thrill of building this thing. We'll have to definitely be careful. So this will be the start of our farm right here. The first step is creating a giant spawning platform with a hallway down the middle. To do this, you'll need lots of nether bricks. You need to build the floor of this thing out of nether bricks, or wither skeletons are not going to spawn. So make sure you have nether bricks, not like double slabs, that's not going to work. Stairs, no, that won't work. Whole nether bricks, this is very important. To start things off, build a line of nether bricks that is 15 blocks long. That's what I've done here. Now after those 15 blocks, go ahead and go 3 more blocks this time, but you technically don't really need to use nether bricks for this part. Wither skeletons won't be spawning in the middle of the farm, that's where you'll be walking. So for now, we'll just do 3 of those, that's fine. Then after that, we need 15 more nether bricks in a straight line. So there we go, we have 15, then 3, then 15 more. Now the ceiling of this thing needs to be 3 blocks high so wither skeletons can spawn. Remember, wither skeletons are pretty tall, so go ahead and make sure your ceiling is nice and cleared out. Now is the long part. You're gonna need to extend this thing as long as you want your farm to go. We want our farm to be really long. The longer the better, actually. So I have like a lot of block placing to do. Basically, you're creating just a gigantic spawning platform. Building this platform can take a long time and can actually be pretty freaky because if you're building this in the correct location, you're over a lava ocean, which, yeah, that's kind of scary. I was thinking in between episodes I probably should have made better nether armor, like armor that's lava resistant, but no, I didn't do that, so I've just got to be really careful. And remember, I really can't stress this enough here, but if you have a floor that's not nether brick, like nether rack, it's not going to work. So make sure you make the floor nether brick, get rid of the nether rack. Nether rack is kind of ugly anyways, so you probably don't really want that there. If you do happen to have any like platforms underneath this floor, like right here, you should probably fill them in as well. If you have pigmen spawning below your farm, like we went over last episode, that's going to be a problem. So I'm gonna need to figure out how to get down there and remove those like islands. That's definitely an issue, but I'm not too worried about that right now. The platform is the main focus. Building this platform is definitely the longest part of this build, but don't worry, once you get the thing in, it gets actually pretty easy. Now, one thing that you might notice happening while you're working on this thing is spawns, especially as your platform starts to get larger. If you're annoyed with mob spawning or just kind of maybe worried about things, go ahead and take some torches and make your platform a little brighter. Blaze spawns and wither skeleton spawns can be blocked with lighting, but pigmen spawns, those are kind of just going to happen. It's not really a problem so long as you don't hit them. Now, if you happen to have areas above your farm like this one here, you should definitely be placing slabs here so pigmen don't spawn up here and then ruin your rates once the farm is actually complete. If you have a lot of netherrack, you could also just kind of fill some areas in like this, which is what I've been doing. I've been doing kind of a combination of both, filling in and then slabbing things over. While you're working on the spawning platform, you could be placing in your slab ceiling as well, which I think I am probably going to start doing. Now, the slab ceiling can be anything. You don't have to use like nether brick slabs or cobblestone slabs or anything in specific. Just make sure you place your ceiling on the lower half of a block, so like that, so spawns don't happen on the ceiling. If you have access to a lot of extra lava, you can also use lava to block spawns. And aha! I have my first wither skeleton spawns on the platform, which is really, really cool. Kind of scary though. I definitely don't want those guys spawning while I'm working on the thing because wither skeletons are, yeah, they're kind of strong, so it's awesome, but I just got a lot more nervous too. That's a chicken jockey, a pigman chicken. Oh my gosh, I haven't seen one of those in like a long time. That's like pretty rare. Wow, that's crazy. Wow. All right, well, we've got the walls in now and the platform is kind of done. So this platform is really nowhere as long as it theoretically could be. I could make this platform go all the way to the other end of this nether fortress bounding box, which is pretty far. It's actually all the way over to about where that wall is right now that I'm zoomed in on. So yeah, this is like maybe half the length or a third of the length, but we're gonna actually stop here for this part and move on to the next one, or move on to the next step, so we can kind of progress the build for today. But long story short, you can make this platform as long as you'd like it to be, and then you should probably put some walls on the thing. So I went ahead and used glass over here for this wall, and I actually skipped the walls over here because the wall is kind of already existent. Now this wall is lined up on the 15th block, so the very edge block that you placed for the floor is actually right underneath the wall. Now, I've been getting a lot of spawns. Like, I have a fair amount of coal that I've been picking up from wither skeletons, blazers spawning, and everything like that, so the thing is already working, which is pretty cool. I went ahead and removed almost all of the lighting in this thing, other than the lighting in the middle. Now it's time to put something in so the blaze that spawn in here don't see us, because we don't really want to have blaze shooting at us the whole time. That's really, really annoying. Now this middle thing is done like this. So down the middle of your farm, you want flower pots. Now the old design uses daylight sensors here, and you could still use daylight sensors, but they are way more expensive than flower pots. So line of flower pots down the middle. On either side of these flower pots, you want some staircases. Now, you can put a slab below the staircases if you'd like, or you don't have to. It's your choice. Now, once you get all of this in, you'll basically have a floor that's made out of flower pots and then staircases on either side of you running along this whole farm from end to end. This whole setup here is basically a trick. When we stand inside of this thing and the blaze spawn over there, so long as we aren't jumping, the blaze won't see us, but the wither skeletons, those guys will actually see us. Once we get this center row fully set up here, we'll be able to move up and down the farm and basically lure all of the wither skeletons over to us. With this thing built around us, we're of course safe from the wither skeletons. They can't go through stairs or blocks, and they can't hit through stairs or blocks. So basically we have this safe center aisle. Now, when you're doing this, you definitely want to remove any lighting that you may have placed inside of this thing to block spawns. If you have lighting over, like, randomly placed around, your rates are going to be much worse, or depending on how much you may have spammed torches, your rates will be non-existent because lighting will block wither skeleton spawns. So go ahead and remove any lighting while you're working on all of this stuff. Unfortunately, your farm is just going to be dark. It kind of is what it is. Alright, so perfect timing here actually. I'm working on finishing up the project here. I had to go ahead and go get more materials, but wither skeletons have spawned like crazy. So we can walk over here and they all see us, and then they'll follow us down to a killing area that we're going to put in at the next part. But right now I don't have it in, so I'm just gonna go ahead and get rid of these guys. But they are spawning like crazy. Like, look at that. There's like 4 or 5, maybe 6 in there. I don't know. There's a lot basically, which is really good. And oh my gosh, we actually got ahead already. Wow, this is crazy. Oh my gosh, we got 1 wither skeleton skull from that bunch right there. You see guys, these farms they're definitely worth it, but I need to go ahead and focus in and finish the rest of these pots up. Had to go back to the overworld to get more. I had ran out actually, and I went ahead and put a wall on this side for now, but we should be good to go now. So let's go ahead and finish things up. Alright, so I've got all of the pots in, all of the staircases in, and they go all the way down to this wall. This wall is actually technically temporary. Eventually, I do plan on expanding this farm, because if we expand it, that is probably going to be better. But anyways, for now, let's go ahead and put the end on this thing right here. So we place a chest down just like that, then we need a hopper going into that chest, and then 2 hoppers on either side of that central hopper going into the middle hopper, just like that. So this is where we will actually be farming our wither skeletons. That means the wither skeletons need a way up on top of these hoppers. To get on top of the hoppers, we can go ahead and add 2 staircases for the wither skeletons, just like that. They'll be able to walk up there. Now the wither skeletons are tall, so we need to actually remove some of the ceiling here and basically like expand it upwards. We can go ahead and do that by just basically building a box right around this thing. Pretty straightforward, easy to do, but there we go, parkour up here. So we'll go ahead and remove this too, just to be safe, and to be clear, this does need to happen on both sides of this thing, so we need to do it on the other side as well. There's 2 sides to this farm, so there needs to be a staircase on both sides of this farm. We'll go ahead and make sure this box is nice and tall for our tall skeleton boys. They are pretty tall. Maybe we'll go something like 3 up. That should be good. Then we need to make sure the ghast that spawn, like that guy, cannot see us. So to do that, we need to actually like make a window here, block it off. So we're going to go ahead and use more red stained glass panes and do this here. So there's 0 chance whatsoever that the ghast can see us while we're inside of this thing. We'll actually go ahead and turn these slabs into solid blocks here so we don't have a little window. And last but not least, on top of this thing, don't forget to block spawns. So when you put a ceiling on this, don't put like solid normal blocks, put slabs again on the lower half so spawns don't happen up here, because for this farm to work really well, we need to eliminate all outside spawns. That means right now, our rates actually aren't going to be very good because we have the option of spawns happening over there, and of course, we have this whole nether fortress in still, so I've got a lot of work to do off camera. Anyways, we go ahead and finish filling the ceiling in like that, then we're good. Now we're trapped inside of this thing and it is safe again. So let's go ahead and add a staircase over there, just like that, and then we're actually almost good. Now we just need to prevent wither skeletons that actually walk up on top of this thing from ever hurting us. How do we do that? Well, that's actually pretty easy. To finish this thing off, I went ahead and placed a bunch of fences in here, just like that. Fences are non-spawnable blocks, so we're good to go there. And then, last but not least, to keep us safe, we will place a single slab right here. This will prevent us from standing too close to the wither skeletons. Now, with all of our setup in over here, I think we're actually pretty much good to go. So now we just need to wait for spawns to actually happen inside of this thing, and that potentially could be the problem here because I haven't removed all of the nether fortress. In other words, Waddle's very, very bad. Aha, we have some spawns. Never mind, Waddle's is okay. Let's test it out, make sure I did everything right. Hi, wither skeletons. Look at me, I'm an innocent player here. No, please don't hurt me. No. Alright, replace the slab with a fence, and there we go. The wither skeletons are walking around all over the place up here. We want to kill them when they're over on top of the hoppers, though, because otherwise their drops are going to be thrown everywhere, and that will be a problem. So if you stand right up against your nether brick fence that you probably placed, you should be good to go. Now, did we mess up here with any of the drops? No, everything looks good. We have one skeleton over there that didn't catch on to us. That's fine. But I think I'm happy, and I think that is pretty much the entire farm here. So let's see, did we get lucky that time? No, we didn't, but we got some coal, which is not bad at all. All of these bones are from wither skeletons, and then a bunch of this coal is from wither skeletons as well. And of course, we have our wonderful skull that we can wear as a trophy for this farm, even though we got this one before it was even finished. Now, to use this thing, basically walk back and forth in it. Spawns will happen, despawns will happen, and yeah, that's how that all works. But when you are inside of this thing, do not jump. If I were to jump right now, the blades that are on the other side of this wall would actually end up seeing me, and then I'd have a big problem. Now, if you have wither skeletons that are not locking onto you, just be patient. It can take some time sometimes, but as soon as the wither skeleton wanders close enough, it's going to lock onto you. After it locks onto you, you can go ahead and walk it down to your trap and then kill it over the hoppers. Remember, always over the hoppers, otherwise you're going to have to break out into this thing. Definitely place a fence here instead of a slab, because if you place a slab, the skeleton doesn't know how to pathfind. The fence should be perfect. And yeah, that's it. That's how you build this wither farm. It's actually super simple to do. And if you have enough resources, you can make this thing crazy long and also crazy good. Now, we'll go ahead and polish this up on the entrance here because I don't want any issues ever happening with the blaze. And make sure you have a closed wall if you have like an end like I have over here. If this was open, the blaze would see us, and then again, seriously, we'd have a problem. The blaze would be shooting at us while we're in this thing, and that's definitely not what we want. But I think that's just about it for the wither farm. I think that's everything that I need to say. Now, I have a lot more work that I have to get done. I need to continue to remove the nether fortress over there, and then I also need to start blocking spawns. If I start to block spawns and then spawns get concentrated inside of this farm here, things are going to get good, like really good. Spawns will happen a bunch inside of this thing and nowhere outside, and yeah, that's good. That's obviously what we want. Now, another thing that I can do and that you could do to improve your farm is make it longer. If you haven't utilized the whole bounding box of your nether fortress, you should, or at least you should consider doing that, because sometimes nether fortress bounding boxes can get absolutely massive. So if it's crazy big, don't worry about it, but if it's like mine, then you should definitely consider doing that. So I've got definitely a bit more work to put in on this farm. The fortress has to continue to disappear, but for the most part, at least for now, we're in a pretty good spot to end the episode today. Definitely plan on hearing a lot more about this farm. We might even come back to it next episode and do a little bit more work on it. I'm not too sure, but not bad. I think we're looking at another wither fight or a couple more wither fights very soon in this series, so we can have more beacons. So it's that time of the day. Time for the comment of the day, but first the library. So a few episodes back now, I asked you guys about what I should do in here with the floor. Like, should I turn it to quartz or anything like that? And the general consensus was actually no, so I think I'm going to leave the floor as wood. I think it does probably fit the feel of the library a lot better than a quartz floor would. The quartz would make it way more modern, and then we have all of this bricks and stone, and it just wouldn't really match. So to everyone who gave me feedback on that a while ago, thank you, big shout out to you. But comment of the day. So today's comment is from Ryan G. The comment or the question today is, when are you ever going to build on the Skylands again, or am I ever going to? And you know, so initially I was planning on doing like a villager breeder over there, and then like an iron farm as well, but then I thought about it and I realized, oh, you know, that stuff wouldn't really make sense over there. I would be AFK and like over here, and the stuff wouldn't work. Now, I think I went over that before, but am I ever going to do anything else over there? I don't know. I can't decide. I have some ideas for the thing, but I also am kind of like, like, is it worth it anymore? Like, should I just do the stuff over here and then we have random floating islands? I mean, I should probably do something on the islands, but I don't know. That's a good question. I definitely should think about that. But thanks everybody for watching. I am gonna head back to the Nether and go ahead and start removing more of that fortress, but that's how you build a wither farm. Big shout out to Tango Tech for the initial design. The original design is like a couple years old and it's a little different, but the thing in general works like a charm. Big shout out to my patron Fred Monster today. Thank you for the support, and thanks everybody for watching. Like, subscribe, comment, merch down below, links in the description. I'll see you next time. Goodbye everybody, this is Witherman out.